Yes. Yes, Kyrie. You are irrelevant. You serve zero purpose. Your life is barely meaningful. Because right now, we gotta get to the main event of the evening. Cause Yui and Shia, they gotta talk. Have a little conversation there. And we're gonna talk about that conversation. So, let's get to it. Everybody, this is your anime legacy and anime lounge here again with Arifureta season 3, episode 14, chapter or episode review. And the rush continues. I have to say, the rush continues. Now, that's not to say that this is a bad episode. Matter of fact, I will say, um, much like episodes 5 through 8, I will give this episode a slightly better than expected. But in all honesty and truth, when it comes to these episodes like this, I feel like when people start, let me back up a bit so you see my face a bit. um, Dealing with haramechis in general, um, this is a problem because people want to rush through content, and the pacing needs to be a little bit slower. Like I said, I wanted this to be 2 episodes so you can get the emotion of the fight. Yes, this part in this week's episode could have been, weaker. Could have been, I should say, excuse me, at least the first part of it could have been what it been because, yeah, much like I said, Shizuku, Shia, and Ryuto pretty much are the characters, if you read the book, that got through this portion of the trial fairly easily. You know, like they showed you when they showed Shia's part. You know, she didn't really even battle her. That was like, I would say maybe at the most 3 to 5 minutes of the whole episode. It was like, they shot at each other and clashed hammers with each other, and basically, it was over. I mean, the shadow was even disappearing as she was like pretty much getting put in the corner. So she got nothing from Shia. She got no energy from Shia at all whatsoever. So yeah, this was a wrap when it came to Shia. Now with Yui, obviously we were supposed to get a little bit more. Like, we were supposed to get into why Yui got portrayed. I mean, they just show Yui getting portrayed, and they show Yui's uncle, but they didn't really get into the stuff about her parents. And I'll do a quick character analysis on Yui. And basically, Yui is a tragic character, and hopefully, when we get into season 4 and all the things that's gonna happen there with Yui and Hajime, and a lot of the stuff that's gonna happen when we get some of the reveals about her uncle and the situation that led to her being in prison in Orchis Labyrinth. Hopefully, we'll get that animated. I'm not at this point, really having hope, having any confidence in these people doing that because they're so terrible in storytelling. They do basically 1 minute they'll do it really, really good, and then the next minute, just for hype's sake and pacing and speed, they, you know, they butcher. Like, we were supposed to find out, like, we did get to the point where we did realize that, like they said, like the guy said, Yui was queen of the vampires. She didn't get it by usurping the throne. It's just that she's that powerful. She's that OP. That there was no reason. Matter of fact, the context of the whole cutscene we got at the end of the last episode and the beginning of this episode is that there was a battle that was being fought where somebody was waging war on the vampire kingdom, mostly because people wanted to wage war on vampires and things that weren't, necessarily human. CTO's backstory for that. But in the book, they tell you that basically, despite her size and actually her age, because, as we saw with Bias, we got the R. Kelly P. Diddy situation going on here, because that's how it was back in the day. We married 14-year-olds around here. So, basically, yeah. The guy who was leading the battle that got everybody in there, the way they was in the credits and stuff like that. Excuse me. Yeah. He was thinking with his dipstick, Jimmy. And yeah, Yui has a thing for, tearing apart dipsticks that ain't Hajime's. She do other things with Hajime's, but we can't talk about that because that's demonetization stuff. So we know what she do with, Hajime's dipstick. If you ain't Hajime, well, they just say, it's coming off, my boy. It's coming off. But also, the fact that Yui knows what to do with Hajime is an important part of her character because she was basically only told how to sexually please a man by her parents. She has no value on her life, and that's going to be a very important part of next season. Again, getting into what a hit wants and what his ultimate goals are. They involve Yui a lot. Not going to spoil it because we're going to get a season. We're probably going to get a season 4. So we're going to get that. And pardon what a hit wants to do it, so I'm not going to really get into that. But yeah, let's just say that Yui was raised to be kind of, for lack of a better word, whorish in her upbringing, and it's because of the person that she calls uncle that she is who she is today, and actually it is her real uncle. Excuse me, I kind of messed up on that. But getting back into the story, it's like basically I should maybe call this, I don't know, I mean I'm calling it, Epic Girl Talk, but I might change the name to Ride or Die because basically that's what this, story is about, or this chapter is about, is that we ride together, we die together, bad boys for life. That's the creed of Hajime and his crew. If we gonna die, we die together. And that's essentially, what they, Shia got mad about. She didn't want to believe in a world where her, Hajime, and Yui weren't together, and if they weren't gonna be together in life, they would be together in death. That's the way that this crew works. The main crew of Yui, Tio, Shia, and Hajime. And Yui forgot that for a minute, so that's the basis for this fight. Like you see, when they did it, the tears in Shia's eyes. And yeah, this fight was a lot more epic. I mean, you had a lot of back talk. I mean, basically, there was a little bit more than her calling, Shia calling Yui like a flat-chested midget. I'm like, wow. They got that one past the senses. It's like, yeah, there's a lot more to it. I mean, basically, they get into, bedroom talk and a whole bunch of other stuff. And speaking of other things, like I said, Kyrie, you serve zero purpose because, yeah, Kyrie won her trial mostly because Yui and Tio showed up. Matter of fact, the way things went in the trial is the reason that Kyrie's duplicate, and yeah, I have to agree with people on the whole them looking black thing. It's not a good look. Don't look past that. But basically, the trial got so annoyed with Shia and Yui's fight, that basically, yeah, it basically said, I'm gonna stop this trial. I'm gonna stop their fight so you can continue your trial. And it got beat up so bad that Kyrie was able to just stab it with her sword and win her trial. That's how Kyrie won her trial. It wasn't that Kyrie's sword or the copy sword ended up in, her back because she got knocked back by Yui and Shia. No, Kyrie actually walked up to her, stabbed her, and basically said, well, you kind of down, so I kind of have to do it. That's how she really won her trial. That's how Kyrie passed her trial. Basically being able to accept that, ruthless and, evil side of herself. So we're gonna have to see, because with this, I have no hope of getting what we should get when it comes to Hajime versus Koki. And yes, my Koki retrospective will be done and on point because there's a lot to talk about with Koki. And I'll probably do one about Hajime and Liliana when I figure out how to do clipping right without getting copyrights. But as for now, that's all I have for this video. If you like anything you heard, please like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you in the next one.